tonight and see what I am seeing. And people are still coming. Mr. Party Leader and the next Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Mr. Perry Gladstone Christie. Mr. Deputy Leader, Mr. Philip Brave Davis. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We are here tonight to start the engine for this Progressive Liberal Party campaign on Grand Bahama. So Central Grand Bahama, are you ready? Grand Bahama and Bimini, are you ready? Are you ready for a new direction? Are you ready for a government that believes in the Bahamas? A government that believes in Bahamians? Then come with me and the PLP. The main issues surrounding this election for Central Grand Bahama are economy, jobs, health, and education. This election is about fairness and respect. It's about putting Bahamians first. It's not about looking back, but moving forward. Too many people are hurting in Grand Bahama. Many of these individuals have lost their jobs. In far too many instances, there are entire families that have no employment at all. And most of these individuals represents the one prosperous middle class on Grand Bahama. They have made great sacrifices and work hard to achieve their goals. And at the end of the day, they're being sent home without any hope of finding employment elsewhere. And some of them are even being boldly replaced by non-Bahamians who are being granted work permits by this government for jobs that they have been doing for many years. PLPs! 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 And guess what? Then we have large number of unemployed young people who are becoming more and more frustrated as they watch job opportunities that many of them are capable of performing being granted to non-Bahamians by the busload. Then on Fridays, we watch the long lines of these non-Bahamians at the banks, while we watch long lines at Bahamians at social service. Something is very wrong with this picture and cannot be allowed to continue. Yet, in spite of these facts, this government continues to brag about what they've done for Grand Bahama and the Bahamas over the past few years and about their abilities to deliver. Let me tell you what they have delivered. An 83% increase in extreme poverty. Record high unemployment numbers with Grand Bahamas unemployment at 22%. That's the published number. But we know one out of every four people are unemployed. Increases in the number of work permits granted for jobs Bahamians can perform. Record numbers of homes being possessed by banks. Record numbers of people who are sleeping in cars, sleeping in abandoned buildings and burnt out buildings. Record numbers of people whose electricity has been turned off. If this is how they define deliverance, we need rescue. Excuse me. Heaven Town, I hear your cry for better infrastructure and better living conditions. It's the same cry as Bartlett Hill, Pindis Point, Lewis Yard, Hunters, and Mocktown. Pindis Point, Lewis Yard, Hunters, and Mocktown. I am aware of the potential danger from your proximity to Barco. so dangerously demonstrated by the fire a few weeks ago. We need a solution to the problem. Life has to be more important than profits. Williamstown and Russelltown, a caring government should not take your land, even if it is for a cruise port. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see a government and its leaders lose faith and confidence in their people, it's a very dangerous thing. It will set us back for generations. Never before have so few done so much to hurt so many. Tonight, I say, if they have lost confidence in us, then we need to show them that we've lost confidence in them. Vote them out.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way.
The PLP believes in Bahamas, and we put Bahamians first. To our youth, I want to say, don't despair. Pursue your education with all your might. What you see going on today won't last always. It is the clearest and cleanest way out of this economic nightmare. We need you to be prepared to play a more prominent role in creating and shaping our destiny. See, some people believe in things. Some people believe things are more important than people. But we pledge to create 21st century jobs and opportunities for you. So don't stop dreaming. Don't ever stop dreaming. Central Grand Bahama, if you believe it's time to put Bahamians first, if you believe it's time to invest in people, then it's time to vote for Julian Russell and the PLP. Thank you. The PLP is the party that created the middle class. It's the oldest party, but the one with the newest and most innovative ideas. It's the party that has as its leader Mr. Perry Gladstone Christie, a compassionate man. He has assembled a new generation of leaders. He is a leader who believes in what Bahamians can accomplish. Tonight, I urge you to give your full support to the party that has the vision, that has a plan, and that has the ability to bring real change to Grand Bahama. That party, ladies and gentlemen, is the Progressive Liberal Party.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way. So sad, so sad.
PLPs! 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 Thank you, and may God bless you. May God bless the Bahamas.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way. So sad, so done. PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way.
Let's hear it for your candidate, Russell.
So sad, so done.
The PLPs!
I got two simple messages tonight. Bear with me because I have a message for that red party first. Then I got a message for you. The message for the red party is very simple. I didn't grow up in the biggest ghetto in Freeport to be scared of that man. I didn't have to eat out the garbage for 4 years to be scared of that man. Shivago Lang is gone. Norris Bean is gone. Cuban Ingram is gone. FNM is gone. Ring the bell! Ring the bell! I hear that man going around the Bahamas, opening headquarters, lying on my brothers and sisters. You open the headquarters tomorrow night in my constituency. My constituency. Lie all you want, but ring the bell. You're gone. You're gone. They're talking about 5. Take 5? Take 5 what? They want us to take 5 more years of misery? 5 more candidates in Grand Bahama don't care about people? You know they take 5? Take 5 minutes to pack up your Georgie bundle and go! 5! That's the only 5 you're gonna get. Pack up your Georgie bundle and go. Your man, ring the bell. What happened to the Valentine Day surprise? Come and gone. Ring the bell. Anyway, that was my word for them. I got a word for you too. My word is very simple. You know, I think back to the man we used to call Moses, Selinden. I think back to Selinden, and I was looking at the Bible the other day, and you know what? I remembered Moses' words to the people, some of his last words. In the wilderness, running around for years, walking toward the promised land, he said to them, listen, I put before you life and death. I give you a choice between prosperity and destruction. And if you didn't know what to choose, he said, choose life. Choose life. And I'm telling you, that party is the party of death. That party is the party of destruction. This is the party of life. This is the party of prosperity. This is the party that has built the middle class and has looked after Bahamians. This is the party that puts Bahamians first. Let's not be coy about that message. Let's not play around with these people. These people have spent 15 of the last 20 years trying to destroy the Bahamian people. Trying to destroy us. And in the last 4.5 years, they went back and trying to finish the job. That's the party we're talking about. There's no real choice here. Unless you want to choose death, choose gold, choose the PLP. Look at the economy. Nothing but disaster and destruction. $4.4 billion in national debt. We took 34 years to accumulate 2-point-something billion. These guys almost double it in another 4.5 years. We have the IMF, we have Moody, we have Standard & Poor's. All of these rating agencies telling us, fix the country or else. We know what it means. And what is their response? Are they trying to fix it? No. They're borrowing more and more and more. They gotta go. These people gotta go. We're talking about an unemployment rate which is effectively about 22% for the whole country. 22%. For Grand Bahama, about 68% for the whole country. We're talking about our youth between 18 and 24, about 38% of them being unemployed. Is this a crisis of these guys? No, they gotta go. We're talking about Bahamian aspirations being crumbled under these people. This man, this dictator, this Papa Doc gets up in Parliament and says we're gonna sell BTC and Bahamians need not apply. He gets up and says, if Bahamians run it, they'll run it in the ground in 2 years. Bahamians can't run a company. What is he doing trying to run a country? He gotta go.
Pull out the torch. Let's put out this light.
You have this man coming and telling people that they are not good enough. And his deputy has the gall to come into Grand Bahama and say the problem with Grand Bahama is Grand Bahamians expect too much. They need to lower their expectations. This is what he said. He said, you got jobs, how come you all don't want to be on the dump truck? How come you all don't want to be maids in people's homes? That's what he said. And he is making millions on top of millions. And all he could think of for us is that we need to lower our expectations. My mother was a maid. There's nothing wrong with honest employment. But for you to come in my island and tell us we should expect less, you need to go too. Then we got Crazy, and Doc, I can just talk with Crazy a little bit because I'm disappointed. The man is going to stand up and say, a promise is a comfort to a fool because he has no promises to make, because they have no vision of how to fix this country. And that is the message. That is the message, that we don't have anything to say to you, and you should be happy we have nothing to say to you. If you don't know how to fix the country, get out. Get out. Ring the bell.
All the way, all the way,
And you know, I see Chicago get up and run. My brother, Dr. Rollins in Nassau could take care of him. But you don't run and expect your substitute to do better than you. He ran because he was going to lose. Norris Bain is going to lose. Grand Bahama is going gold throughout Grand Bahama.
Pull out the torch. Let's put out this light.
You know what really upsets me? These guys are bragging. Last year, bragging that they made $44 million in 1 year in work permit fees. 44 million, blood money, jobs that Bahamians should have. They chose to give it to foreigners just so they could make work permit fees and have people out of work. No, man, that doesn't work. If that's all you can think about, you need to get out. But we have a vision for Grand Bahama. The PLP has a vision for Grand Bahama. We have published our vision for Grand Bahama. The Project Grand Bahama platform is clear. We are going to go and review every work permit in this country. Bahamians first. Bahamians first. We're going to make sure our own people are employed. We're going to make sure contracts go to Bahamians first. We're not going to try to stimulate the economy of Argentina. We're not going to try to stimulate the economy of China. Money is here and it should be spent on Bahamians first. That's what we're doing. That's the great difference. We understand what needs to be done in Grand Bahama. Don't tell me you don't know what to do. Do not tell me that you sat in Parliament in Nassau for 4.5 years and decided you would not do anything for Grand Bahama because you dislike one man. One man. People lost their houses because you dislike one man. Families separated because you dislike one man. Please, man. People out of jobs because you dislike one man. People can't have power on because you dislike one man. You need to go. I want to encourage you all, do not be afraid of this man. This man has showed us exactly who he is. We know he is, and he needs to go. Bottom line. So I'm going to leave you with this. Very simple. Marco City, I have heard you. Marco City, I have heard you. I have been in the houses and I have heard you. I have heard the generators running at night because you can't afford electricity. I have heard you. I've been in the house with the woman who said to me, help me to believe again because my husband is in Nassau. I'm here. We're separated because he needs a job. Help me. I've heard you. We're coming. We're coming. I've been with the young man who said to me, listen, I don't want to do these things I do, but I need a job because I have to eat out of my mother's pot. I can't buy her something if I want to. I don't want to live this life, but get me a job. I've heard you. We are coming. The PLP is coming. And this is not new to us. This is the same thing these people did in 2002.
Brothers and sisters in East Grand Bahama, we've been doing some mining of our own. We've been building our own gold reserves, and they're looking good. Because we know that our people, our greatest resources, are precious as gold. PLPs, if you're wondering how we're doing in the East, I'll say it again. In East Grand Bahama, it's out with the old and in with the gold.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, so sad, so done.
It's in with the old, and it's out with the gold, pardon me, and in with the gold. Because in East Grand Bahama, we are fed up. We are sick and tired of being put on the back burner. We have waited and waited for the current government to notice us, to check for the island that gave the F&M 5 of the 6 seats here in Grand Bahama. But Grand Bahama has not even been on their radar. In just under 5 years, this island has become unrecognizable to all of us here in Grand Bahama. If you travel the streets, have you traveled our streets? Business after business closed down. Talented, educated young people are out of work. Industrious Bahamians cannot pay their bills on time. Not even their electricity bill or their water bill. Just because we don't cry foul doesn't mean that we are not hurting. Grand Bahamians are proud and strong, and so we will find a way to survive. Unable to pay electricity and water bills, we Grand Bahamians are cooking outside and bathing in the sea, eating oatmeal for breakfast, oatmeal for lunch, and oatmeal for dinner. That's for those who can't afford oatmeal, because some of us cannot afford it. And so, the future, this is not the future that our forefathers fought for. Our country has been hijacked and our people held hostage by an administration that has derailed, reduced, deferred, and stunted our growth. They have increased taxes on Bahamians. Government borrowing is at an all-time high. Unemployment rates continue to climb, and the level of crime is unbearable. And it is wrong, my people, that we have to suffer in this way. They wait until the 11th hour, the eve of this election year, to make a mad rush and scramble to appease us. And finally now, the F&M government is finally ready to break ground for a fire station. There was a fire over the bridge. House burnt down. It made a town. House burnt down. It wasn't until my brother Julian and I made a press statement that this government decided to do the right thing. Thanks, F&M government. But don't forget to put substations in the east and in the west. And we still need water in Gold Rock Creek, Freetown, Gambia Point, and Bevanstown. And remember, we need an ambulance stationed in the east. Grand Bahama, whatever they do to scramble, to slam together to make us happy, rest assured that once this PLP government is elected, it intends to do these things. Brothers and sisters, the F&M government has taken Grand Bahama's kindness, for weakness. But no more. No more back burner. No more last minute. No more last place. No more we get to you when we get to you. And no more scrambled treatment for Grand Bahama. Because this time, Grand Bahama, it is a new day for us. And on election day, when it finally comes, a golden sun will rise in the east, casting a golden glow on Sweetens Key, McLean's Town, Freetown, Bevanstown, and High Rock. The golden sun will travel over Dover Sound, Lincoln Green, Chesapeake. Those rays of gold will rise in Fortune Bay, Fortune Key, and Fortune Point, Maida Town, Smith's Point, Seahorse Village, Royal Bahamian Estates, and Coral Gardens. But that golden orb won't stop there. That rising golden sun will bring new energy to Marco City, Gregory Moss, Pine Ridge, Dr. Michael Darbo, it will bring vigor and strength to Central Grand Bahama, Julian Russell. And last, and by no means least, she will spread warmth and wealth in West, Grand Bahama, and Bimini. From east to west, Grand Bahama is going gold.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, so sad, so.
East Grand Bahama, this election is a golden opportunity for us to reverse the downward spiral of our island. We cannot afford to gamble with the current administration. We cannot trust their promises that they will do it better next time. With people suffering the way they are, there is too much at stake. And no, the grass is not greener on the other side. To some, it may appear so from a distance, but when you get closer, you see the missing grass and the red patches underneath. Grand Bahama, we must not waste this golden opportunity. That's why I am asking you to put the reins of our island's governance in the hands of this party that has always had our mandate, putting Bahamians first. East Grand Bahama, we have a long journey ahead. There is a well-known saying that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So, step now and step in the right direction. Step with me. Vote PLP.
Bring the water, hold the torch, tell the economy can't take this no more.
We will journey together, and by, step by step, together with God's help, this island, our island, will be restored. PLP! 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 May God save us all from this.
They're selling our country, they're selling our land.
Oh
They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country.
That's it.
They're
Look at
selling
the people.
our heart. And I never been down.
Woo! Boy, the energy is here. The energy is here tonight.
Keep the FNM out.
Wow. To my honorable leader, Perry Gladstone Christie. To the deputy leader, Mr. Philip Brave Davis, our party chairman, Mr. Bradley Roberts, all senior PLP officials, my colleagues from Nassau, PLPs from East to West Grand Bahama, good evening.
Keep the FNM out. Out and stay out.
My God, look at the people. Grand Bahama gone gold.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, so sad, so done, PLP, all the way.
Tonight, I'm both happy and proud to be in West End to support my friend and colleague, Mr. O.B. Wilsham. Over the past 5 years, I have had the opportunity to work close with Obi, and let me assure you, he is solid as a rock.
Keep the FNM out. Out and stay.
He has shown nothing but real love and genuine concern for the people of the great constituency of West End and Bimini. PLPs, can I share with you my reason why I love the color gold so much and what it represents to me? G stands for giving, a party that puts Bahamians first and will continue to fight for the small man. O stands for optimistic. Yes, we are optimistic about the future with this country in the hands of the PLP. L stands for loving. We have a compassionate leader. One who cares about people and believes in Bahamians. And D stands for dynamic. Yes, we are a dynamic party, and we allow Bahamians to dream and dream big by providing opportunities for growth and development throughout our country. Friends and supporters, I'm proud to be a part of this party with such a great history, and I'm humbled tonight to stand here in front of you in West End as your next representative for the great constituency of Pine Ridge. Brothers and sisters, I must admit that I'm very concerned about the future of Grand Bahama in the hands of Hubert Alexander Ingram for the next 5 years. Let me assure you that I will continue to fight. I will fight this battle to bring positive change to Grand Bahama and this nation. Friends and supporters, a few days ago, the statistics was released of the real unemployment figures on Grand Bahama, and let me confirm that the Progressive Liberal Party already knew that the unemployment rate on Grand Bahama has skyrocketed to 25%, the worst we have ever seen on this island. Reports have already confirmed that 1 out of every 3 young Grand Bahamians is now unemployed and have suffered under this FNM administration. Grand Bahama, do you remember 2007 when the same FNM administration accused the PLP for doing nothing in Grand Bahama and promised Grand Bahamians 10,000 new jobs when they returned to office? Do you remember Mr. Ingram when he promised to reopen Royal Oasis 90 days after he returned to office? Well, despite all of the promises in the last 4.5 years, this same FNM administration failed to deliver for Grand Bahama. Even more disturbing is the fact that Mr. Ingram had the opportunity to do something tangible for us in Grand Bahama, but because of his personal vendetta with one man at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, he intentionally held his hand back for me and you. How cold-hearted and arrogant can one man be because of politics? Now, after reaping hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes from Grand Bahama for the past 4.5 years to fuel their special interest projects in Nassau and Abaco, and after throwing mere crumbs, listen to me people, mere crumbs off the cabinet table at the residence of Grand Bahama, they are back. They are back on Grand Bahama talking about love and trusted leadership. Man, they got to be joking. PLPs. Do you remember? What should they be doing today? They should be on their knees begging the residents of Grand Bahama for forgiveness for 4.5 years of lousy representation. But no, brothers and sisters, they are back on the road, knocking on doors, asking for a second chance. They are clueless, and they have no shame. Pine Ridge, I am humbled by the expression of your love and support throughout the last 2 years. And I thank you. Let me assure you, Pine Ridge, from the bottom of my heart, that I have heard your cries in the 13 polling divisions of Pine Ridge. And I'm committed to bringing real hope. Listen to me. Real hope and change as your next representative for Over the next few months, I will be walking through the 13 polling divisions in Pine Ridge, knocking on doors and sharing my plans and the progressive liberal platform to you, the residents of Pine Ridge. Friends and supporters, we are encountering difficult times in Grand Bahama, and we must work together to diversify our economy in order to create new sustainable jobs and move swiftly to rebuild this nation. I am optimistic about the future, and I believe that this country will thrive once again in the capable hands of the Progressive Liberal Party. Grand Bahama, I sincerely believe that the Progressive Liberal Party is the beacon of light our country needs at this time.
I wish to thank the people of Bimini and Cat Key, Hannah Hill and Pinedale, Russell Martin and Jonestown, Seagrape and Pine Forest, Holmes Rock and Ditmas Reef, Bahama Beach, Boodle Bay and West End. All PLPs from all over Grand Bahama. It is so good to be here tonight. I come to you as your humble servant. I come to you and I stand in honor and deep appreciation for all the people who've given me an opportunity. I come knowing the teachings of my father and my mother, that everything you do in life, do it to help others more than to help yourself. And even though there are some times that we fall short, I will never stop trying. I will never stop helping, because the people of my constituency and of all Bahamas, I love you. It is so good to have my brothers and sisters here in the West tonight. We represent a team, and we are building our party. I want Julian Russell to know that I support him. I want Tisha Tynes to know that I support her. I want my friend Greg Moss to know that I have his hand. And I want my good friend and Senator Michael Daubel to know that I am with you all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are building on the foundation laid by our fathers, made when Dame Doris Johnson stood in the Supreme Court and looked into the eyes of the men who had sustained the ideals that made women subservient and second class. Dame Doris Johnson of PLP demanded that women be treated equal and be given the right to vote. She believed our people, our country, we together have overcome the varied forms of social injustice, political injustice, and economic injustice. Because as a people, we believe. And believe we shall. We must overcome the economic injustice in this country that has broadened the gap between the haves and the have-nots, that have killed the dreams of so many of our people. philosophy to heal the sick, to feed the poor, to guide the youth, and to bring peace to every heart. Ladies and gentlemen and PLPs, the story of our party and the story of the Bahamas are inseparable. We have been through toils and snares, trials and tribulations, depression, oppression, and deprivation. But when faced with challenges, our people who've been schooled and our people who've not been schooled, black and white Bahamians, rich and poor Bahamians, we stand together, we mount up on the wings of faith and soar across the fiery forces to defeat those and those circumstances that will pull us down, devour and destroy us. All that we have earned as a people, and we fight because we have an indomitable spirit, a spirit that says, I believe. As a people, we have proven to the naysayers and the pundits that we can achieve anything we want to. Many doubted the strength of our people because they only looked at the size of our country, but they never looked and measured the size of our hearts and the magnitude of our determination. A determination that says, I believe. When they said we could not achieve majority rule, we did because we believe. When they said the people of the Bahamas could not achieve independence, we did because we believe. And even when they said that we could not win a gold medal at the Olympics, we did because we believe. Here in West Grand Bahama, when the forces of Francis, Jean, and Wilma ripped apart our lives, we did not stay down. We got up because we believe. We believed then as we believe now that weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. Separately and collectively, the people of Grand Bahama are in pain. No matter the political side you're on, if you're F&M or DNA, you've got to admit that things are dead bad in Grand Bahama. The large majority of the people here are catching hell. Thousands of young men and thousands of young women want to work, but there are no jobs. And so they must stand on the welfare line. I tell them tonight that keep your heads up and don't be ashamed, because as the monkey said when they cut his tail, it ain't long now. In West Grand Bahama, we are planning now for the future. And I want my people to understand that this election is about the future. We will initiate an aggressive program to immediately create some construction jobs in West Grand Bahama. Our program must be aggressive so that West Grand Bahama, from Bartlett Hill to West End, could and would become a modern city community. We will complete the Boodle Bay Housing Division, and we will put a park there where it's supposed to be. We will start new housing divisions in Dedman Street and also in Holmes Rock. Pelican Lake will become a scenic beauty. The bushes will be cleared, and a wonder of the world will be exposed. And I want you to know that no longer will we sit down and let them build schools in Freeport and build no schools in West Grand Bahama. We will build new high schools, we will build new primary schools, an IT center, and we will build sports facilities in West Grand Bahama. And as I said to you the other day, the Friendship Shopping Center will be purchased, and we will build a state-of-the-art West Grand Bahama administrative complex. All of those things will happen as we change that highway from Queens Highway, and we will call it the Salinden Penland Highway. Right now. government will soon give a contract for the down home facilities in Jonestown. And I want you to know that I welcome it. We built the temporary facilities that are there, and I left in place a plan for the new facility. So if the government wants to build it now because they're out of time, that's fine with me. Because once the people benefit, they are my people. I care about them. Build the doggone facility. I want Bahamian businessmen, those who have businesses today, and those who want a business tomorrow. In West Grand Bahama, I want you to know that we will be moving to give you duty-free concessions for your businesses so that you can bring in your vehicles and start your businesses. We must catch up with Freeport. Freeport has had the concessions since 1955. Almost 60 years ago. It's time we get ours, West End. I believe the time is now. And I want tonight to say thank you to the churches in West Grand Bahama. I've seen your work. I've seen what you have done in these bad economic times. I've seen how you've helped the homeless, how you've fed the hungry, and how you've encouraged the youth. We as a nation must be grateful. I will seek, as a PLP MP, to cause for legislation, for faith-based legislation, to allow for our churches to get across-the-board duty-free concessions for their expansions, for their vehicles, and for items related to their ministry. We must always remember that without the grace of God, the prayer of God's shepherd, the shouts of songs and praise, our nation would be worse off today than it is now. And we have to show the church that we believe in the church and the work that the church has been doing. And we must give them all the support that they deserve. Men and women who proudly built their homes and moved up the social strata of this island. And now they're down. And I know that they feel very bad tonight. Many have lost their homes, and who've lost their homes, I know you're living in darkness, and many don't have water. But I want you to know that yes, you may have lost your homes, but you're not out of the game. Don't believe that you've lost everything, that it's over, because it's not over. You may be down today, but you're not out. Because if you vote for the PLP and you believe, we will find a plan to help you. And I want you to know that in West Grand Bahama, we will take that urban renewal program in all those areas in Seagrape and Jonestown and Pinedale, all those areas where we have homes that need work, where we have infrastructure that need work. We're going to fix those and cause for those areas to be improved so the property value can go up, so that the home value can grow up, and so that the environment will become better. We will do so through the urban renewal program. West Grand Bahama, I want you to know that we're not talking about same old, same old. We're talking about something new, because I believe. And West Grand Bahama will be anchored by a first-class hotel right here in West End, with a first-class airport right here in West End, with a first-class golf course right here in West End. Because we will welcome people from all over the world. There will be charter services. There will be scheduled services. And you see this beautiful harbor? We're going to dredge this harbor so that it can look like and be like and even improve over what we've done in Bimini. We will cause you to have business sustainable here in West Grand Bahama. I want all of you to know that I want our island of Grand Bahama to return to that promised land, to put the magic back into Freeport, and to cause some soul again to ride high in the city of Grand Bahama and in the city of Freeport in particular. We can no longer allow this island to remain the way it is. And that is why I say to Papa, Papa, there's nothing wrong. You've given the people of New Providence some leverage. Those who had their power cut off, you've allowed them to put the power on, and you've worked a deal for them. That's all good, but what about the people of Grand Bahama? What about a plan for us here? We lost our power too, And they're cutting off our water now. So why haven't you given us a plan? I beg you, give us one. And if you don't give it to us now, well, I know somebody who will in just a short period of time. So give it to us now, or you can get it later. These general elections are for the future of this nation. These elections will determine, Bahamian people, if we sink or if we swim, if we rise or if we fall flat, if we soar again or we settle on being a people who are dependent and not independent. These elections will decide if we get back on course to nation building, till it can become the city and a country that is the envy of the Western world and become players around the table of global political, social, and economic scholarship. We can, the Bahamian people know that we can. We can if we believe. And I want you to remember that we have proven to the world many times before that we can soar. In West Grand Bahama, when Cardia Roll of West End emerged as a 4-point student to become the #1 student on Grand Bahama, she did so because she worked hard and because she believed. And all the people, all young people know that we can achieve if you work hard and you believe. When our Bahamians became Rhodes Scholars, they did so because they worked hard and because they believed. When Michael Thompson and Rick Fox wore the Lakers basketball uniform and won championships, they did so because they worked hard and because they believed. When Dennis Preacher Hall, Ad Coma, and Ernest Umbrister, all of my constituency, when they stood up to those who did not want taxi drivers on the streets of Freeport, they did so with conviction because they believe. And look, today, anybody could drive on the streets of Freeport because of the work that they did. And that is why tonight, I ask you, custom officers, the F&M government treated you badly. So why go with them? Come with us, the PLP. Let's fix what they did wrong. Taxi drivers and hotel workers, the PLP extends a hand to you so that we can rebuild tourism and we can believe again. Police and defense force officers, let us work together so that we can believe and we can clean up our streets and restore law and order and return this nation to an island of peace and stability. We must believe. And I also want my friend, Verna Grant, she is my friend. I believe, Verna, you still have some work to do. And so why don't you come join us and be a part of us, and we will show you that we believe. Young men, and we have many young men here tonight, I call on you, put down your weapons and arm yourselves with a desire to work and become the role models that your children in this country expect of you. Let us today begin to walk together and let us believe again. All Bahamians, it's time for us to believe again. We must believe in ourselves and in our country. This same Bahamas that came a long way and that has lost some direction. It is time now for a new day. It is time now for a new PLP government. It is time now for us to say, F&M goodbye, PLP welcome, and let us move our country forward. PLPs, Bahamians everywhere, in times like these, ideas, creativity, and vision will move our nation and our people forward. We don't have to cuss nobody. We don't have to say nothing nasty about nobody. We can move this country forward with ideas, with creativity, with innovation, and with a plan for tomorrow. Our people want a message that will arouse their spirits, soften their hearts, and resonate with love and hope. Our leader, the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, has learned that no matter how many times you slap him, he's going to turn the other cheek. He has learned, and our leader knows, that the stone that the builders rejected will once again become that chief cornerstone. Our
leader is blessed with the oratorical skills of Paul, the charisma of Prince Charming, the heart of Mother Teresa, and that indomitable Bahamian spirit. Our leader has learned that it is not the weight of the race that counts. What counts is the strength of his conviction and the determination of his head, his heart, and his soul. Our leader, the Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie, has the soul. He has weathered the storms and he has been in the valley. He has scaled the rough side of the mountains. He has been through the fire, but he's been protected by the armor of God. He walked through the valley and to the valley of the shadow of death, but was comforted by thy rod and by thy staff. People of Grand Bahama, leaders are chosen. They are anointed. They are tested and they are made ready. I want tonight here in West End, with thousands of people looking, with thousands of people here, I am presenting a man of character, a man of integrity, a man with a heart of love and a belief, and he believes deeply that every Bahamian deserves a second chance. PLP's Bahamians everywhere, let us welcome tonight here in West End, the home of hospitality, the capital of Grand Bahama. We welcome.
Very pleasant to be here. No, indeed, West End, I'm here to support your candidate, your PLP candidate. And his name is Obadiah Hercules Wilscombe. And you know, Hercules and brave go together. You can't be brave unless you have a Hercules in you. And you can't be Hercules unless you got some brave in you. And so I want to tell y'all that Hercules and brave y'all should have, and y'all should take West End. And I understand it is on lock. It's indeed a pleasure to be here tonight. I want to ask you, are you ready, West End? I ask you, Grand Bahama, are you ready? My party leader, my colleagues in particular, Mr. Shane Gibson, who's here in the house with us tonight. Hey Shane, he's here with us as well. Are you ready to get rid of this F&M, this uncaring and this vindictive government? I need to hear you, West End. Are you ready? In fact, I want the F&M to hear you say that you're ready. And I want, I guess, not just the F&M, let us have Papa Clown say, you think Papa Clown hearing you? I want Papa Clown to hear you say that you are ready. Let's tell them to ring the bell tonight. We have a bell. The bell is ringing. Grand Bahama, we know just how bad things have been for you under this Ingram administration. This is virtually true. This is virtually true for all of the Bahamas. The pain, the suffering, and hardship have been more severe for you here in Grand Bahama and most in any other island in the Bahamas. And the truth of the matter is, that this need not have been the case. You need not have been suffering the way you have been. Because I think, and I say to you, that it is because of Hubert Ingram, Papa Clown, his principal and intentional neglect of Grand Bahama that you have suffered so much. He neglected this island for the past 4+ years for personal reasons that still have not been fully explained to the Bahamian people. In fact, Ingram all but admitted at a press conference held in Freeport recently that Grand Bahama was neglected because of a personal feud he had with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. That feud came as a result of his refusal in December of 2009 to renew the work permit of one Hannes Babbitt, the then chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. At that press conference, Ingram announced that he and Sir Jack Hayward, one of the principal owners of Grand Bahama Port Authority, were now on good terms because Babbitt was no longer an issue.
No one man should be that important that the welfare of the residents of Grand Bahama should have depended on whether Hubert Ingram, Papa Clown, liked him or not. He was prepared to neglect and make a whole island suffer because of one man. But after having totally neglected the Grand Bahama, right, and now that election is imminent, right around the corner, he's trying to fool you once again, trying to lull you into forgetting that the vindictiveness that was visited upon Grand Bahama was primarily responsible for most of the pain and suffering that you have had to endure. You would have noticed that in recent weeks that he will announce the start of several projects. Again, promises. The construction of a new fire station in Freeport was just announced. He certainly must think that you Grand Bahamians are fool and stupid. A few, let's remember, this is what I'm saying, Grand Bahamians, and to the Bahamians under the sound of my voice. Right? A few weeks of promises cannot make up for the 5 years of hurt and pain and suffering that you've undergone. You know what I'm saying? A few weeks of promises cannot make up for 5 years of suffering that you've had. You must let Papa Clown know that such election ploys will not make him forget his vindictive policies that were responsible for your pain and suffering here in Grand Bahama. You must let him know that the spiteful policies towards Grand Bahama are mainly responsible for the island's outrageously high unemployment. You must let him know that his mean-spirited policies are responsible for the decimation of the middle-class sector in Grand Bahama. You must let him know that you cannot forget that although the FNM has 5 Grand Bahama MPs, 3 of whom were in cabinet, they remain totally silent as he, Papa Clown, neglected Grand Bahama. You must let him know that the country's economy overall will not be in the poor shape it is in if it were not mismanaged by himself as Minister of Finance and his Minister of State, Shivago Monavi Lang. Yes, Grand Bahama, you must let him know that you are sick and tired of their bad governance and will vote them out in the next election. Surely things could have been so different in a positive way for Grand Bahama if Ingram had lived up to his promises he made shortly after they came to power in 2007. Back then, they told you how much potential you had, how much they loved you, how they would never leave you, and how much they needed you. In fact, in 2007, at the opening of international distributors in Freeport, Ingram said the rate of unemployment and underemployment in Grand Bahama is inexcusable. So if unemployment was inexcusable then, what the hell it is now? At that time, at the same time, and at that same event, Ingram also promised we will bring Freeport back. Well, fast forward to now, and the evidence is quite clear that conditions in Grand Bahama are far worse than when the FLM returned to power in 2007. Grand Bahama, this election will be the most serious that we have seen in perhaps a generation. There's so much at stake. There's so much to lose. These are serious times, and serious times call for serious leaders. This is no time for shucking and jiving. This is no time for slack talk and loose thinking. That brand of politics has passed and is no longer relevant. Yet, Papa Clown has taken off his prime ministerial hat for that of petty, simple-minded gestures. His silliness knows no bounds, and he will sink to any level. He has no shame. The stakes are high, PLPs, and those other fellas knows it. PLPs in Grand Bahama, I cannot stress enough the importance of these elections. Just remember, in 5 short years, the FNM has been in power. We have not only seen record murders, record unemployment, record national debt, but even more seriously than what we have seen, erosion of the average Bahamian's social standing. Bahamians are being devalued in the Bahamas. In these 5 short years, thousands of people have been evicted from their homes and thousands have fallen back into poverty that their grandparents and parents worked so hard to out of for generations ago and 2 or more. This is the Bahamas that Ingram has delivered, and no amount of money that he'll pour in this campaign will change this back. Grand Bahama, it is time to do that thing. We ask you to go out and register now. We remind you, and let's remind them of the heartache a parent feels when they have to stand outside with their child in order for them to do their homework under the street lights. Ours is a serious task. Bahamians are counting on us. They are counting on us to restore them to what was stripped away from them. Yes, PLPs, they are counting on us to restore good governance to our beloved country. We must not let the Bahamian people down. With your help, Grand Bahama, we shall not let them down. Grand Bahama, are you ready for Obadiah Hercules Wilsker?
All the way, all the way.
Grand Bahama, are you ready for this Category 5 storm that's going to take out the F&M? Grand Bahama, I say come with us as we restore our country back on track to where it belongs. And as you know, we in the PLP believe in Bahamians and we believe in the Bahamas. PLPs! 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 God.
Listen, there are some people here oh my goodness. And let me just say this. I'm also told that all over, right in Harbor Island, they are assembled before a big screen watching you here in West End. Hello, Harbor Island. But listen now. I want to know, are you ready for Obi and the PLP?
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way.
You are going to lead the way, Grand Bahama. In 2012, the F&M is going to have a collision with reality. And it's going to start right here in Grand Bahama. You're ready for a new direction. Ready for a government that will put Bahamians first. Ready for a government that will invest in people. I have spent a lot of time with the beautiful people of Grand Bahama. And I have seen a lot of lives brought low in a very short period of time. There is just too much pain here. Can you hear me? There is just too much pain here, my brothers and sisters. Too many proud members of the middle class slipping back into poverty. Grand Bahama is hurting, suffering from nearly 5 years of almost unthinkable neglect. Did the F&M government ever have a plan for creating jobs here? Well, if they did have a jobs plan, it wasn't a jobs plan for Bahamians. After presiding over the most shocking mismanagement of the economy in Grand Bahama in our nation's history, the Prime Minister has the audacity to ask you for your vote. They should be asking you for forgiveness, Grand Bahama, not asking you for your votes. And you've heard the quote. Listen to me now. You've heard the quote. Sound and fury signifying nothing. That's a pretty good description of the F&M campaign so far. Listen to me now. Lots of noise, lots of lies, no new ideas. For the PLP, we have been promoting serious, innovative ideas to fight crime, reduce violence, and create jobs since the summer of last year. But the FNM doesn't have a serious or innovative ideas. All they have is their tired, old, discredited attacks on PLPs. Speaking of which, the other night the Prime Minister said that the PLP likes to reap, not to sow. You know, West Grand Bahama, if this is the Prime Minister doing his best to win your support, it is not a very impressive sight, because nobody believes that. But when he denigrates my government's accomplishments, he denigrates the many great Bahamians who worked by my side, who contributed their talents and vision and hard work to their country. And so really, I cannot let his dishonest comment pass. Listen to me tonight. We in the PLP created 22,000 jobs. Yes, we did. And in fact, that's a conservative estimate. Mr. Prime Minister, put your reading glasses on. Look at the labor survey of the Department of Statistics. Look at the hiring at Atlantis Phase 3. Look at the hiring at Albany and second chance programs after the employment moratorium. You can look it up. We created that many jobs and more. But that's not all. We built 1,400 homes and a record number of classrooms. And we invested tens of millions in Bahamian entrepreneurs. When I left office, unemployment was at 7.6%, and we were leaders in the region. In 2007, we had big accomplishments and big projects underway. Do you remember when the Prime Minister officially opened the brewery? He himself, in a rare moment of candor, admitted that some people sow and others reap the benefits. The Bahamas Brewery Limited was approved and 90% completed under my watch. The FNM reaped some $40 million in stamp taxes from the sale of Vopak after much work and due diligence on the buyer was completed and approval for the sale granted by my government. The FNM reaped the benefits of the construction of the northern campus of the College of the Bahamas here in Grand Bahama. My government sowed the seeds to expand educational opportunities for thousands of Bahamians. As a matter of fact, the seeds of most fruits being harvested and claimed by the FNM government in our economy was sown by my administration. Listen, they say we have done nothing. But you know, the Ginsomer Anchor Project right here in West End, where it come from? It came from us. The I Group Anchor Project in Meguana, the National Stadium that they open next week, the National Stadium came right from this head. And when you see them celebrating it next week, think of the fact that when I was Prime Minister, having been an international athlete, I decided to give the gift of a new stadium by asking the Chinese to build it for us. Hubert Ingram just sat down and watched it built. Now he will go into that stadium and say, look what we did. My foot, look what I did. Look what the PLP did. Bahama, where did it come from? The 400 million Linden Pendling International Airport project Where do you think it came from? When the F&M took office, they realized they had a problem. They realized that all these projects were PLP projects. They couldn't take any credit for them. And they didn't have any ideas of their own. So what did they do? In many cases, they delayed PLP projects and contracts. They came up with phony excuses for why they were delaying it. But it really was all about politics. Plain and simple. F&M politics. Now, can you imagine that they did this even as the global recession was tightening its grip on the Bahamian economy? When Bahamians needed jobs more than ever, the F&M stopped or delayed projects for political reasons. The international rating agency Standard & Poor's said that the F&M decision to delay contracts had a direct impact on the Bahamian economy. We didn't say it, Standard & Poor's said it. And that's only one of the many ways this Bahamians need not apply F&M made the recession worse and mismanaged the economy. Now, you know for yourselves in Grand Bahama that Hubert Ingram has been stewing in his feuds and vendettas instead of putting you first, having temper tantrums instead of leading the way on jobs. Listen to me tonight. 1 in 3 people and young people are out of work. 1 in 3 young people are out of work. Unemployment in Grand Bahama is well over 20%. The middle class is decimated. A list of foreclosures, people losing their homes, is miles long. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. Not to mention their terrible and tragic failure on crime and violence. Just as I was walking to this platform, I was being told by police officers that a major crime has just occurred in New Providence where someone was murdered tonight. And I say, I can't call it now because it just happened, but great God Almighty, this government has so manifestly failed to keep people safe in this country that they need to go, and to go now. They need to go, and they need to go now. They dismantle urban renewal, swift justice, witness protection. They dismantle them and put nothing in their place. Listen, you've heard it. Murders have doubled on their watch. More than 443 murdered, but fewer than 25 convicted. 443 murdered, fewer than 25 convicted. As many as 305 accused of murder out on bail. And Ingram said when he came to Parliament in 2007, if this ever happened, he'll hang his head in shame. Well, let's say, well, my damn, he should hang everything in shame. Listen, Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama, we can and will do so much better as a nation when you elect the PLP to be the next government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I know that you'll visit our website to learn more about our plans to fight crime and to create jobs nationwide. So I can turn my attention now to our plans for Grand Bahama. Tonight you've heard our colleagues speak. You've heard about Project Grand Bahama from some of us. But let me highlight again for you some key provisions. A policy of putting Bahamians first, with real enforcement for existing protections for Bahamian workers, increased work permit fees for jobs where Bahamians are qualified to perform them, and when putting in place a plan to move aggressively to fill job vacancies with qualified Bahamians. The PLP is committed to establishing a ministry for Grand Bahama. This will ensure that Grand Bahama's development receives the focused, specialized attention it deserves. As for tourism, we need to make Grand Bahama more competitive. We will, as a new government, cut government taxes at the airport and harbor in half. Cut hotel taxes by 50% for a period of 5 years for existing hotels and 10 years for new hotels. We will ensure that duty-free concessions, listen to this now, we will ensure that duty-free concessions will be extended to East Grand Bahama and to West Grand Bahama.
I'm voting. I'm voting. I'm voting.
We will encourage and support Bahamians who want to build and own bed and breakfast guest houses, who want to build and own boutique hotels and small resorts. And we will support them with affordable startup capital, affordable land, technical support, and marketing expertise. As part of our commitment to doubling the investment in education, we will expand the presence of BTVI in Grand Bahama, in addition to developing new public-private partnerships to establish technology centers for education and training of our people. Given the importance of the listed initiatives and the critical role the Grand Bahama Port Authority plays in this country and on this island, I'm going to say something very, very important and of critical importance to the Prime Minister, to the Hayward family, to the St. George family, and to you, the people of Grand Bahama. And I say tonight, I respectfully ask that the Grand Bahama Port Authority defer the appointment of a new executive chairman until after the general elections. Hubert Ingram has squandered his 5-year mandate, and it is unseemly for him to approve a new chairman on the eve of general election. It must not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I have assembled a team of experience and the ideas and energy of a new generation to assist me in rebuilding Grand Bahama and indeed the Bahamas. Nowhere have I demonstrated this mixture than right here in Grand Bahama, with the experience of O.B. Wilscombe in the West and the youth and dynamism of Tanisha Tynes in the East, Julian Russell in Central Grand Bahama, Greg Morse in Marco City, and Senator Dr. Michael Darwell in Pine Ridge complete a group of extraordinary candidates ready to work for you on day one. I am here tonight for Obi Hercules, Obadiah if you please, Obadiah Hercules Wilson, who has been a valued member of my team. In tourism, in 2004, we hit the 5 million mark in arrivals for the first time in history. We also hit the $2 billion mark in tourism revenue in 2004 and sustained it in 2005 and in 2006. Listen to me tonight. We can achieve big things again. We were able to attract JetBlue, Spirit, Virgin Atlantic to the Bahamas, thereby increasing airlift. Airlift was also dramatically increased to the Family Islands. West Grand Bahama, we did it before. And I've come tonight to assure you that we will do it again. I need you, therefore. I need you to get registered and to vote OB and the PLP, because we believe in Bahamians. Together, listen to me, together we will rebuild Grand Bahama and create the opportunities you, the people of Grand Bahama, need to lift yourselves up and return West End and other parts of Grand Bahama back to the glory days. And for you in West End, you were once the capital. And we've come here tonight to tell you that once again, we will bring back the glory days in West End just as they were when you were the capital in Grand Bahama. Can I count on you, Grand Bahama? Do you believe in Bahamians the way we do?